Hi, thank you for giving me this opportunity to have this interview with you. One of your first questions was, how do you envision your role in this position? I envision myself being a very productive avian technician. I have experience in fieldwork along with bird handling, and I feel that I would contribute good work to the study, which is to study more about the reproductive ecology of rock ptarmigan in the interior of Alaska. This project, I understand that it is linked with the university and the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. And the mission statement for the Alaska Department of Fish and Game is to protect and maintain our resources in Alaska. And I feel that this study, with my work contributing to it, will add to this mission productively. Another question that you asked was, how would you go about establishing credibility with the team? I have a lot of character, and I'm a very dependable worker. I've worked long hours, and I have always helped around with camps, and whenever somebody needs me, I am there for them. I'm not a lazy worker. I am always there. Worked long hours. I'm very trustworthy. I'm a very independent worker, and that's how I establish my credibility with the team. I'm a good team worker too. I'm a very well communicator, and then that shows character, and the work that I put into my work shows my character. Another question you asked was, can you describe a situation in which your work was criticized? Last summer, I worked with a weir during my fisheries internship. Along the weir, there are fence posts of different sizes across the river to keep it fish tight. When we arrived at the campsite, all of the fence posts were unorganized. So they were different sizes and they were kind of everywhere. And so I thought that I took the initiative and decided to organize them by spray painting the tops of each of them and putting them in piles so that it would be, because they're pretty heavy, so I thought that it would be pretty easy to once have them organized. It would just be a faster process of putting them in the river. At first I was criticized because my coworkers thought that this was a waste of time. And then actually, as we started going through the process, they saw my goal to organize, and they thought that it was actually helpful, and they were proud that I took the initiative to do that. Another question that you asked was, what irritates you about other people, and how do you handle it? The number one thing that irritates me, both in school projects or in the workforce, is when people don't do the work that they're expected or that they are assigned to do. There have been several times where I have just taken the lead and have done more work than I probably should have. Last summer there was a few occasions where I'd be siphoning the gas, cleaning the boats, cutting down or chopping firewood, and then my coworkers would just, like a couple of them would just be sitting inside. And a couple ways that I've encountered this pretty often, and so what I usually do to resolve this issue is to confront them personally. I'm not passive. I assertively confront them, and I just ask them in a very professional and polite way, and I'll just say, hey, I chopped the firewood and I cleaned the boat. Can you please siphon the gas or organize the data? And I just ask them in a very polite way to do their own work. Another question that you had was, what can you offer us that others cannot? My experience in education with birds, especially particular to birds and fieldwork, can offer valuable information and productivity to this study. I'm adaptable to working long hours and in remote conditions, and this position is in a very remote area, and I feel as though I can adapt to working in adverse environmental conditions and with long hours. Last summer I worked up to 16, 17 hours a day in just rainy weather, buggy weather, and I still always had the big picture of what the big research question was, and I was able to remember that and remember in hard times that I'm doing this for a really good purpose, and it's my motivation and ability to learn and how grateful I am for any opportunities to improve myself professionally and personally is what separates me from other candidates. And the last question that you asked, which was a pretty fun question, was, if you could choose any superhero power, what would it be and why? I would choose superhuman endurance. I'm a very productive and active person, and if I had more time in my day, I would be able to accomplish so much more. So if I could have all of the energy in the world, I could accomplish so much and reach so many more of my goals. Thank you for your time.